So for tonight's project, we are going to make a fabric gift bag, and we're going to add a little hook where you can also attach a bow. And if you saw the last tutorial on the fabric gift tags that we personalized, you can also hook that in with a little bow on the front. You can tie your ribbons at the top for the cinch and leave some extra hanging for decor, or you can tie the knots on the ends and pull from the ends to cinch the bag. So gather your favorite fabrics and let's walk through this. Okay, you're going to want 2 rectangles for your bag. If you want a taller bag that's not as wide, then you can make the bag by making the side be one of the parts that's closed in, and then you can make the top ribbon here. If you want it to be a wide bag that goes this direction, then the bottom will be your fold and you will have your ribbon coming from the top. And that is the example I showed at the beginning. But you will just need 2 rectangles, any size really that you choose. The size for the bag that I just made was actually a 21.5-inch rectangle by 13.5. And again, if you don't have directional fabric, like this one, for example, can go either direction. You can sew it tall, or you can turn it if you prefer and go with one that's wider in this direction. Another idea to use when we get ready to make the project, a ruler is handy because of the width. It's the perfect size to make the casing that we're going to use to cinch it. And then you're also going to want some ribbon. If you do want to add the loop, you can make your own by just making a 3-inch wide fabric strip that you fold in half and then fold in, and then just press really good and then stitch up both sides. And then you can just use this and cut off as much as you need to make the loop, or you can use prepackaged bias that's already folded and just stitch that down both sides as well, and then you can fold that to make the loop if you want to add the loop for a bow or a personalized gift tag. The first thing you want to do is take your 2 rectangles, whatever size you choose, and you are going to lay them right sides together, and we are going to sew all the way around all 3 sides. And then when we get back to the top, you want to leave about a 2-inch opening where you can flip this out. We're also going to clip the 4 corners so that we get the more rounded look as well. So we are just going to use a 1/4-inch seam. We are going to back stitch when we start, and we are just going to follow this all the way around the entire rectangle with that 1/4-inch seam. So now I've made it all the way around and I've made it to the top. So we are going to back stitch about part of the way, and then I'm just going to lift up the presser foot, keeping it aligned on my seam allowance. Lower that needle again and continue with a back stitch at the beginning, and then we're going to continue to sew until I meet my original seam. And at the end of that, I am also going to back stitch. So we are going to take this off of the machine, and we want to clip the corners so that we get rounded edges, and you're going to clip all 4 corners, and then we will flip it right side out. So once you get all the way around, you're going to have just the opening once you turn it right side out and you've clipped your corners. So you are going to want to top stitch this little area so that it is completely sealed. You do not have to top stitch all the way around, but I do recommend that you press it so that it's good and flat when you get ready for the next step. So now we have sewn all the way around. I've done just a top stitch here to close up that open space we left. So now you're going to decide if you want the bag to go tall If you're going tall, then you will close it up here and here for the bottom and the side. And if you want your bag to go a bigger width, then you're going to close up these two sides, and then we're going to be working on the top. So you'll just decide which direction you want yours to go. So for this one, basically, the way you're going to do this is you want to go back to the wrong side of your fabric, and you want to fold it this direction, and we are going to add the opening that gives us the casing for the ribbon. And this is where the ruler is a very handy tip, because you can take the ruler and line it up on the edge, and you can just roll down your fabric with the width of your ruler, and that will give you the perfect amount of casing for the ribbon that you could use. And then you will just use some clips to put that in place. And then we can use this first one that we just created to line up and measure the back one to get them the same. So we will flip it over, and now we can just line up and measure with the one that we've already done, and just alternate the clips and clip that one down the same way, just keeping it aligned. And now all we have to do is go to the sewing machine, and we are going to sew this side and this side and completely close that in. And then you're also going to stitch this down and stitch this down as well, just using the edge top stitch just enough to adhere it. So I'm going to sew these two pieces down first, and then I will line those up back at the top and sew the actual sides of my bag next. So the first thing we want to do is sew a stitch here and go ahead and make our casing. And so we are just going to line it up where the needle, it just goes into the edge of our fabric, and we're just going to sew all the way across, and then we're going to repeat that stitch on the other end, and we can actually go right on top of the top stitch that we made earlier. You will back stitch at the beginning and just sew that all the way across. And just keeping it as straight as you can to make a straight stitch, just to hold that in place. If you wanted thread to blend, you could change your thread, but because mine has the white stitching on the fabric already, I am just going to continue with the white thread on my machine, but you could use one that will blend in with your fabric if you choose. So when you come to the end of that, again, you're going to want to back stitch a few stitches before you come off. Okay, and you're just going to continue that and do your other side, and then I will show you how to fold it to sew up the sides. So now we have both casings created, so you can see we have an opening here that our ribbon can fit in. So now we're just going to sew the sides up. But before we sew the sides, if you do want the option of adding the loop to hang a gift tag or tie an additional bow, what we are going to do is take the first part of the loop and sew right above this stitch here that we've already created before we sew up our sides. So we'll just slide this back under here and just go just a little bit above it and sew your first stitch right on top of the original stitch that you already have, just to hold this in place. And I would back stitch over that a couple of times, and then you will fold this end up as well. here, but you're going to take that edge and go to the inside and stitch that end down. And if you did have a raw edge, this will help give you an additional stitch to cover up your raw edge. You could also seal that up if you wanted to open up the bias tape and stitch that down before you closed it and stitched your sides. But it's just a little fabric gift bag that's going to have ribbon or a tag in there, so you don't necessarily have to do that. So I am just going to lay this back down and try to position my needle where I can see it without catching the top part here. So you'll have to pull this out of the way and get your needle down. And then once you have your needle down in there, we are just going to sew again that edge down right on the seam that we've already created. And just go slow so that you don't get it caught. And just keep that top piece out of the way. You can also do a little back stitch at the beginning. Again, make sure you don't catch your top layer in your needle. And then you will just continue to sew that all the way across until you finish your loop. Okay, so now I have this little extra loop sewn on. So now I'm just going to bring right sides together, and I'm going to just clip this where this matches at the top so that I don't sew the casing that I just created. And I am just going to sew this side together with a 1/4 inch seam. Make sure to back stitch when you start and stop. And then I am also going to do the same thing on the other side. And the reason I have that pinned and clipped here at the top is so that I know that is where I need to stop and back stitch right below this casing. So where I get to this original seam, as I'm coming up on that, I'm just going to go right below it and back stitch. And we're going to pull that off, and then we're going to flip it around and do the same thing here, putting that clip on this side, and sew right up to where that casing started and back stitch. Okay, so then you will turn it right sides out, and you can choose a webbing. If you want this to be a permanent bag, you can do any kind of ribbon that you want. Whatever you choose that you want to run through the bag, the way you're going to run it through the bag is by sticking a safety pin in one end, and then you will just feed it through the opening that you've created on the bag. And just feel for that safety pin. So once you get it going, it gets pretty easy to slide it. So just kind of push that pin a little ways, and then you'll just pull the fabric to you as you go along. And then you can feed that safety pin some more and continue to pull the fabric your direction until you get it all the way through there. And just continue to shift it, keeping your hand on that pin and just pulling the fabric as you go. Okay, once you get to the end, you'll just pull it the rest of the way through. And you've already can tell you're going to have that cinched look as you're finishing the project, getting it through there. And thicker materials might take you a minute to pull compared to a piece of ribbon. The ribbon goes through pretty quick and easy. And so you'll continue to do this again with a second piece that will go through the back webbing that you've created for this casing. So you'll just do another piece that you'll feed through that. You have two options when you feed it through. If you want to leave it where you're using a ruffle that you want several pieces of ruffle at the top and you want all 4 of those, you could even cut this longer and let these hang longer on that. If you don't, you can tie a knot on the ends so that they can't come out, and then you would just easily cinch it. This one is a thick one that I'm using here, but you could cinch a knot at the end here so that it couldn't go through, and you would do a knot there, a knot on either one of, on all 4 sides, and then you would just pull to cinch and leave your knots hanging if that was the other direction that you chose to do that. And then the last thing that you have is the option to hang something on there. And so I just had some gift wrapping ribbon that I used, which is a sheer ribbon that I could just easily pull off and loop through the front just to add something a little decorative. And so I would just take that through the loop that we created on the front of the bag, and then if I had a gift tag or an ornament that I had that was made, then I could add that to that by looping it through the other loop, and then just tie it all together onto the front of the bag with a bow, and then just cut that off wherever you finished. So this will just help you make just a little added extra bow if you are one of those people like me that wants to go a little bit over the top to dress it up, and you can make it as large or as small as you want it to be. You could also loop it through a couple of times and even make a bigger bow if you wanted to. But this just adds a little something extra, a little extra character to your bag, and just it's very unique for a little fabric gift bag. These are great to put little gifts in for coworkers. It's a bag they can reuse or re-gift, and it's just a great idea for Christmas bags. So I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial, and I hope that you find ways to use these or to make these, and let me know what you think in the projects and what other ideas you would like to see, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.